Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. And this is going to be kind of a messy story or a messy combination of stories, but it's something that I've been thinking about while writing a part of my main character's dating life. And part of that is why why am I supposed to only be a decent person? Why am I supposed to only have a decent life? And I say that because with the men that I have dated, and I understand because well, cause and effect, because of what my mother said, because of how people treated me, because no one believed me. I literally dated at the bottom of the barrel, pathetic, awful, like like they're quote unquote human beings. And I say that because they don't know how to treat anyone else human, or they're not empathetic. And they, if they see someone's light shine, they will literally break in and like steal that light bulb and or cut off the electricity to make sure there is no light to shine. And they will probably even soak all the matches in water just to make sure you can't even flick like any type of light source whatsoever. But I've just noticed how, oh, and if you're new, hi, hello. It's like, trust me, my YouTube channel is as messy as my life, as you can tell, but grab a snack. I usually take a little bit of time, as you can tell. But okay, back to my story. I've just realized, and I was like, I knew it, but I kept denying it, or I kept thinking, it's because I'm not good enough or I'm not of any value or anything, because that's what everyone kept telling me. Like, as long as you walk like that, you better start walking straight. How stupid are you to walk like that? You're choosing to walk like that. And other, like a long list of things. But it's to the point where I literally kept dating men who only wanted me to be decent. And even while getting my degrees, it's like Mr. Lockett, he was proud that I was starting it because but he wasn't really proud. He just knew to love bomb me because I told him what was going on at home. I told him how no one else believed in me and no one else thought I was going to finish. But once I was over halfway done, that's when he would always try to find a reason to leave out the house and go to a friend's house, or like, well, I have no idea what he was picking up, but sometimes he would have to go and pick up things. Oh, I was like, he if he hasn't gone back to jail by now, then his now wife, she has she has done some magical things, or taken him to church. I don't like, that would be a joke, but yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but I just, because even with my teeth, I remember this a couple weeks ago because I know he had to go get false teeth at the beginning. Like, this was right at the beginning, so he was still calling me every day, telling me, as if are you my girlfriend, and if you're not, you know what I'm going to do with myself, and that he was going to exit this earth and stuff like that. And so during that time, he, I, I forgot if, I know he already lost a couple teeth, but either he pulled out more or he had to go to the dentist to get them. But then he got artificial teeth. And I remember like the day that he got them, it was like, I'm not a shallow person or anything like that. Part of me was just like, you know what? Some people have to get teeth, and some people have to get them earlier than expected, or earlier than the stereotype. And especially now, I mean, I'm walking with a walker. So part of me is just like, Most people, they make old lady jokes and things like that, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. So I don't know. To me, it's just like in life, you never know when you're going to need certain services. Some things are not just for the elderly. Some things are out of your control, and some things that even in childhood that might affect you, or even when you're born might affect you. So anyway, I remember like while we're eating or if I'm smiling, oh, why do you have to have perfect teeth? I like women who have teeth with imperfections. Why couldn't you have some imperfections? It was like I see that little, like that really little one with that one tooth, but it's not enough. A real woman would have some flair in her smile. And then he would mention his now wife, and part of me was just like, and that's the thing. I kept, I sometimes I would even ask him, "Can we just break up and you?" Because I told him, "Look up your ex-wife." Or his ex-girlfriend then, but now wife now. Yeah, they're not, sorry, but yeah, ex-girlfriend now wife. It's like I told him because I kept telling him I did not want to be with him. If like you would have to watch the full episode. It's earlier on in the series and everything, but literally, I'm just gonna say the end of it. But if you don't like self-hurt trauma, then fast forward like 20-30 seconds. He stole from my purse at his friend's taco party because his friends told me the truth about him dropping out of school, so he didn't have a GED or anything, and he kept going to jail, and he was addicted to different stuff. I didn't know any of this. He hid it really well, and then it's like I went to the restroom. He stole out my purse. The next day, I went to get my stuff at his house. He was screaming, crying, banging on walls, telling me to stay with him. So then finally someone gives me, or my ex's brother's girlfriend gives me my property. I get in my car and then I'm driving off, and then he runs into the middle of the street with a knife to his wrist, telling me if I don't become his girlfriend. So that's the very, very quick version of it. And so with that, part of me just kept wondering, if you keep saying you want your ex-girlfriend from middle school, his middle school sweetheart, why in the world are you with me? And with my second master's, why do you keep trying to distract me? Why do you keep like kicking the wall? Like, why are you with someone like me? Why are you with someone like me? Oh my gosh, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you. Well, yeah, you put a knife to your wrist, and as a Christian woman, I felt bad. And it's like with all of the love bombing you had at the beginning, because everyone else didn't believe in me when I started my first master's, but then you were jumping up all around the bar, acting like you were going to create a full parade for me. And it's like, so it was mostly out of guilt, out of fear, out of confusion. And also, my mother told me, as long as you walk like that, no one's ever going to want you, love you, or marry you. So I had like, it's complicated, but that's how it happened. And, but with my teeth, with my education, he was upset. And he, like, I can't believe your teeth came out. He was like, you never had braces. I can't believe you never had braces. Oh my gosh, this is not fair. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But then, and then, how did you get this far in school? That's not like, I don't know. It's like, that's a long story. So I'm just going to say he complained about my education. But then, literally, I'm trying to study. And there are some times when I go to the McDonald's or the Subway, and there's like one or two other places nearby that where, because I didn't study at home. I did like, or I try to not study as at home as often as possible. I have my reasons, a long list of reasons, but he was so toxic. It's like I started figuring out different places and locations where I could feel safe and try to focus and get the work done. But then, even with me wanting to start a business, Why are you're not going to stay with me? You're not going to stay with me. What kind of woman is going to stay with me? And she's starting her own business. You said, you can't do this. You're too old. You're getting too old. Oh my. And I wasn't even 30 yet. But I know, like, when he does karaoke, he oftentimes does Eminem because he does a great job impersonating him. But it's like he harps on himself and he gets angry with himself. I should have been a rapper. I should have been a rapper. Okay, so why don't you start? Because even though I was not allowed to start a YouTube channel, I offered him, like, write some lyrics and record yourself. Part of me wonders what would have happened if he had started that like 14, 15 years ago. Because literally at the beginning of YouTube, it's like it anyways, like maybe nothing, but if he had just put a little work into it. But he was always upset with me because I was writing stories and hiding the stories in the car. If you've been listening to my videos, you already know why. But I had notebooks of some of my story ideas, business ideas, and things like that. I like sometimes I would be looking up stuff on my laptop that was about like business longevity and like especially with my MBA, I was learning more sorry, about streams of income, investing, and like how to like circle around the types of advertising for your demographic and stuff like that. So I was writing notes and working on, okay, if I want to be an author, how can I create this to be a full blown business? And I know one of the times I was in the house studying, but the notebook where I had my stories and stuff is in the car. I It's like I kept them separate because I had two bags, but one of them was really heavy, so I only brought my school bag in at the moment. but I forgot. He said he had to go to the gas station. He had to do something, but he used my car. But the next thing I know, he's sharing my notebook with my notes with some of his so-called friends or whatever, and like they're like laughing. They're like, "Oh my god, you actually think you're gonna be able to do all this? Oh my gosh, ha 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 ha." Oh, like, oh, it's like this is a cute story. Oh yeah, it's like, oh, you're gonna try to sell this, and he's like, yeah, it's good, but who are you? You're nobody. No one's gonna buy your stuff. Who do you think you are? And I just remember freely, I didn't know what to do or say, and I didn't have that amazing family across the street anymore because they moved. Because oh, she would have torn them apart. But I was scared because I was like, if I yell at them, especially like they would always talk about well his supposed stepmother. They weren't married or whatever, but his stepmother, and like she would say the N word, and some of them would sometimes stereotype black people. So I part of me was just like, if I get loud, if I get angry, because sometimes they're like, oh, we're gonna call the cops on you because then you're not gonna be goody goody anymore. You're not gonna be perfect anymore. And if you guys have listened to my episode about Olive Garden, he literally like he took me on a quote unquote date night, but it wasn't a date. It was me eating alone while he was talking to his special candy dealer. Yeah, I didn't know about that. But then he was determined because I kept telling him we could just ride in his vehicle and I'll give him gas money. No, he went to ride in my car on purpose because he said, yeah, if we get pulled over, then I'm going to have to get arrested too because it was my car. And because the cops aren't going to believe that I did not know about it. But the funny thing, he was stupid enough to like he put it in the back seat, but I already had the doggy bag. He had no excuse to go back to my car, so I snuck up on behind him. Yeah, if you listen to the Olive Garden breadstick episode, I tell the whole thing. But yeah, it's like he found his middle school sweetheart, online. Like, he did exactly what I told him to do for years. And yeah, I hung out with him. Yeah, we dated for the like, but I literally dated him because it was somewhere else to go. I didn't love him, and I couldn't stand him because he was so addicted to special candy. He would steal from his jobs. I had to return his property to his job. Do you know how uncomfortable that is? And some people are like, you didn't have to do it. No, I didn't have to do it. But I could not stand being associated, and I could not stand looking at the stolen property, knowing that he was doing this, hearing him brag about it. But it's like he couldn't stand, like, especially when I did finish my MBA. I got like, because I already broke up with him, but he was like that. His grandmother passed away like 4 or 5 months prior, I think it was, and him and his grandfather, like, let's just say the situation of that, like, I'm not gonna say it's filthy or anything like that, but I couldn't believe what was going on at that house. But I know he called me and he was like, I was working a side job with one of my old bosses, but well, old boss to new boss, but in a totally different field. But he was begging me to come over just to talk or whatever. And so I ended up going over to the house, and I found out, oh, your grandfather hasn't eaten and he hasn't eaten. So I just kind of made some dinner, and I had my diploma with me because I wanted to show, well, actually, the ladies at McDonald's, because I know the woman who gave me the animal or the McDonald's cookies that are like animal cookies. If you haven't tried them, try them. As I have an episode where I mention and talk about them. But yes, like the women at Meg or some of the staff, because there was one guy there too, they were more accepting and they were more congratulating me with my diploma than he was. He doesn't even know I finished because he was on special candy, and he was bleaching or cleaning his shoelaces while I'm trying to show him that I fit, because I cooked dinner, and then I was gonna show him my diploma and then leave, but he ran out to clean his shoelaces. Look, my shoelaces, look, they're so white. Look, they're white. Look, they're white. Yeah, they're like, oh, but look, it's like I finally, oh, but look, they were so white. I got them so white. You should have seen how they looked before. They were so dirty, but now they're really white. See, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, congratulations. And that is like, he was so old. This boy was high as a kite. But his grandfather, I remember when I told him goodbye and that I would never come back. And he was like, I understand. And he congratulated me with graduating. And he said it's like he knows how much time he's seen me on the couch studying. But oh my gosh, he never wanted much out of me, because even after I broke up with him, and then he was, instead, like, he was looking for me and his ex or the middle school sweetheart at the same time. He found me. And then when I said that he owed me money, you owe me money, his response was, you have to get back with me and sleep with me a certain amount of time. And if you don't make up your mind within 2 weeks, I'm going to double the parameters. And part of me is just like, so the same way you got me to date you the first time, manipulation and blackmail and things like that, you're going to try that again? And so I'm trying to figure out how I can just get my money. Part of me is wondering, do I have enough proof to take him to small claims court? But then he finds his high school sweetheart, and I'm calling them like, I just want my money. So then she calls me, you have no business calling him. I'm going to take you to court. Take me to court for what? For harassing him. I'm not I just want my money. You want him back. You want him back. All he does is steal, be deceptive, being awful, a liar. It's like I never wanted him to begin with. I was like, I studied at his house and I played girlfriend for 5 years, but I left for a reason. And she started calling me the N word so many times. Part of me was just kind of wondering, is that the word of the day? Am I gonna see, like, I don't know, it's like each time she says it is her mailbox and everything just yay, yay, kind of like Pee-wee's Playhouse. I don't know, that's what I'm picturing right now, but she was such a, like, in my opinion, she is such an awful human being. And he is even worse because it's like he never wanted me to be able to do anything. And when I was able to do something, he always wanted a piece of it. He wanted either the money or the credit, or even when I used to do promotions for a certain team, and I won't mention them because I've got some really bad stories about them. It's like he would want to come along with me so that he could get the attention, and he wanted to flex his muscles and things like that in front of them. And so to the point where now he never paid me back, and he would never probably pay me back. And at least I know he ended up with only a decent woman. And that's the at least that's the petty tea I get to enjoy, because every time he described me, he would always say, "Why can't you just be like her? She would never be able to accomplish this. She doesn't her teeth aren't perfect like yours. She would never be able to finish a degree. She would never be able." So part of me is just like, you hated me because I exceeded decent, and you were so determined to marry decent. So you got what you wanted. And at least I know that I will never settle with myself with being decent. But that's the end of this episode. But I have so much more to talk about when it comes to life expectancy, and how some people only want you to be decent. When I leave this earth, I want to be able to be like, I did my thing. I enjoyed my life. I obtained different obstacles. I went beyond, like, over and beyond any of my expectations and most people's expectations of myself. I don't want just a decent life. And why would anybody just want a decent life? Well, let me know your opinion on it. But you guys take care. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Take care.